welcome everybody to the third day of the conference track of SciPy 2019. Thank you all for your attendance and attention so far. I hope everyone is having an awesome time. Is everyone having an awesome time? So I am a ringer today. Normally the third day's introductions are given by Eric Jones, the CEO of Nthought. Unfortunately, he is unable to be here. He is somewhere between LA and Austin at the moment. I don't know exactly where. So some of these slides were prepared for him. They may be a little bit odd being delivered by me, but we will work with it. So the first thing I'd like to do this morning is to thank all of our silver sponsors. Again, the financial help that these companies and institutions provide really allow us to make this conference a success and reflect, again, the importance of the work that everyone has been doing within this community to advance science and advance scientific software. So once again, if we could thank the sponsors. The other people who we really need to thank are the people who make this conference possible in a real and concrete way. And as you can see, this is the list of people who are involved in the 2019 organizing committee. This is not a small group of people. This is a lot of hardworking, dedicated people who have put in a lot of effort over the last year. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to ask those of you who've served on the organising committee this year, if you could please stand up and let people know who you are. And everyone, please thank them for their work. But beyond the organising committee, there are a number of other committees which have done sort of even more work, actually yes, above and beyond sort of what's done within the steering committees. So if we could please have a round of applause for those who have helped with the track and mini symposiums and the diversity committee. These are the people who are responsible for selecting the talks which you've all enjoyed and will enjoy for the rest of the day, and for ensuring that this is a safe and welcoming community to be part of. And then, this is possibly many of you in the room. This is the list of people who have helped review the talk and tutorial proposals. This is something that anyone here can be involved with. It just requires reviewing the proposals which are put forward, giving your honest and professional opinion on the worth of the papers and how they can potentially be improved. And so I would encourage you to think about next year, if you're able to participating in the program and tutorial committee, which goes on for several pages. So once again, if we could have a round of applause for everyone who's helped contribute. And then the last shout out goes to the Proceedings Committee, who every year have been putting in doughty, workmanlike effort into making sure that we have the proceedings not only finished, but finished before the conference has even started. So again, there's a dedicated group of people working on the reviewing process, on keeping everything together. It's a very open process. They do a remarkable job. And so once again, if we could thank everyone who's participated in this. And so this is where it gets a little bit weird. So I would like to thank Serge, who has been a conference co-chair for the last 2 years, for his dedicated service. And I can't really thank myself, but...
Corin's been awesome to work with for the year, and I just wanted to say thank you to the community for letting me do this for the past 3 years. It's been an awesome privilege, and it's wonderful to be part of this community, so thanks. And what Eric would say is, you guys give a big shout out for Corin, and next year we have John. Is John here? Who's going to step in be the co-chair, so maybe he's not here. All right, thanks.
And last but certainly not least, this conference would not happen without the work that Jill and Kirsten have put in the last year. I think it's fair to say that Jill is the heart of this conference. Thank you so much. So, we have a few announcements this morning. The first is that we'll be having the usual lunch break between 12 and 2. There are the usual restaurant recommendations available on the website. There's one change to the program today, that the talk, Building a Sustainable Open Source Open Science Community with Frictionless Data, which was scheduled at 2:35, has been changed. And instead, Andy Terrell's going to give a talk on building a sustainable open source open science community with NUM focus. There will be a number of BOFs, Birds of Feathers meetings, so hopefully some of you had a chance to attend the BOFs yesterday evening. These are informal discussions for people interested in a specific topic, and there will be several of these run at 1 p.m, so during the lunch break, and also at 6:15 this evening. And in particular, there is at 6:15 the Planning for SciPy 2020 BOF. So if you're interested in being involved, or if you have suggestions about how things could be improved, how things could be made better, we are looking forward to hear your suggestions and to have your participation in that BOF this afternoon. We'd also ask if you're a poster presenter, if you could please take your posters down by 12:15 today. And then looking forward to the weekend, we'll be shifting mode of the conference once again into sprint mode. How many people here are going to be attending the sprints? Yeah. So if you haven't ever attended sprints before, I would encourage you to do it. It's one of the things which I personally find a great attraction of a conference like this. So what is a sprint? A sprint is where you go and you sit down and you work with other developers on the open source software that we all use day to day in our work. It's an opportunity to learn, it's an opportunity to give back to your community, it's an opportunity to meet new people, to make connections, and to do things which you may never have done before. That said, it can be intimidating, so we are planning to have a BOF at 1 p.m. today on how to contribute to open source. So this is primarily oriented towards the sprints, to getting people who are comparatively new to sprints oriented, but it's also if you are just interested in what is the process of contributing to something like NumPy or SciPy, how do the mechanics of that work. You're welcome to attend. This is a little bit of a change from last year. Normally we did this BOF at the beginning of the sprints on Saturday, but we're trying doing it on Friday to see how that changes things up. The sprints, there'll be a huge diversity of projects, SciPy, Dask, Jupyter, NumPy, scikit-learn, SymPy, and so forth. There's a bit.ly link there which you can go to, which there's a spreadsheet with all the planned sprints. If you are planning to sprint and host a sprint and your name isn't up there, contact the sprint committee and they'll tell you what you need to get your project up there on the list. And then lastly, for those who are sprinting, there will be a dinner on Saturday at 6:30 at the Clay Pit, which is down the road on Guadalupe, a short way. Further questions, there's the Sprints channel on Slack, and I would encourage you, if you have the opportunity, I know many of you probably have to get back to your homes, but if you're here in Austin for the weekend, I'd encourage you to attend. Which leaves me to introduce our keynote for today. So Carol Willing is a member of Project Jupyter's Steering Council and a core developer of Jupyter Hub. She is the co-editor of the Journal of Open Source Education and has authored books on how to teach and learn with Jupyter. But not only that, Carol is a member of the Python core development team, and she is now a member of Python's Steering Council. So she is heavily involved in the fundamentals of making our ecosystem, the tools that we want, work well and work as a community. Carol also organizes PyLadies San Diego and the San Diego Python user group, and she's one of us. She has an MS in management, but also a BSc in electrical engineering from Duke University. So I would like to welcome Carol up onto the stage.